Bueno, buenas tardes a todas.
Good evening, everybody, men, women, everyone present here and following us on streaming. Welcome to this 8th edition of Cinema for Women Festival. We are sitting with Arantxa Echevarría, holding a relaxed conversation because we would like Arantxa to explain how she came to this point. This is the topic for the discussion. In this festival, in addition to showing works by directors, filmmakers, etc., it is very important for us to encourage a new generation of women filmmakers, encourage all filmmakers in the world, but we are especially focusing on women because it is a festival that is made by women, and we realize that very often the problems that we women encounter in this world is, well, we find it hard to dream big. We present many more obstacles to ourselves than men do. We have this imposter syndrome. It is very, very relevant, but we would like to know more about your experience so that we could encourage everyone to become filmmakers. I think it's going to be best to listen to Arantxa, but let me explain something that I do find important. Arantxa started working in television. She did a very important documentary about the women cleaners that worked in the football leagues. This was a documentary by which the football generation became aware of the situation, and then they began to be treated with more dignity. And then there is something really important about Arantxa, especially for young persons, people who are starting. She started by doing short films. She didn't just overnight become a relevant filmmaker. She had a long-standing career behind. This shows how you need to work very hard. You need to be prepared for the moment when you have your opportunity. You need to have been able to do short movies. You need to be prepared. So can you tell us a bit about your life, Arantxa? She was born in Bilbao. I'm sorry, I have forgotten that aspect, and I know that is very important, together with the Goya Award. And in addition to having been in Cannes at the Quincena, I don't know what's more important, the fact that she was born in Bilbao, the Quincena, or what?
Well, I am the example of what you have to do if you want to work in this industry, but slow motion. My first film, I was 50 when I made it, so you have to do it quicker than what I did. I finished my degree and I dropped out third year in audiovisual communication. That's what I was studying, and I started making short films, advertising, anything that I could find. And I was working as a waitress during the day, during projects at night, for 10 years, a bit of everything. I've worked with Maria. I've worked with many people. I've been management auxiliary. Shall I go slower? Because I can see that there's sign language. I've also been camera operator, electricist, also makeup artist. I've done everything. This past is, I didn't know this. Makeup artist, or yes, in the porn industry. Yeah, well, that would seem to be quite normal. Makeup artist for a porn movie, and then also deputy auxiliary helper for filmmaking. Well, seriously, from my 20s, I started my studies. I was excited about my career. Theory. That's all I could hear in the classroom. And then I said, I have to experience and do things. And I have to go out there. I didn't have enough money. I had to share an apartment with 7 other people. And I started doing short films. And then I started helping in productions, in feature films. And I was suddenly 40, and I said, God, I'm helping other people to do films, and I'm not doing the films that I want to do, because this is like a wheel. You need to earn money to be able to eat. And I started working in a project, and then another, and then you said, no, you forget about yourself. And I had to experience the passion and to just go for it. And this is what I said to myself. My first short films, I was old, so to speak, with celluloid, with 4 million pesetas from those days, and it was really complicated. It was super expensive. And, well, I made it. Panchito, my first short film, a social comedy. And then I said, well, this is what I best know how to do. And then I did 10 more short films. 10. And then the last one with Chus Lampreave, her last role was in Arantxa's short film, Yo Presidenta. It's super fun. Yeah. Chus, that was like a gift, just like anything that she did. You don't know me, I called her. You don't know me, I do short films. And she said, what's your name? What's your name, Arantxa? And this is a short film about, a woman who lives in the street, and suddenly she becomes president. This could...
Yeah, we could have a double program with Chus as president.
And she said, well, just come to my house and let's meet. And I was there for 6 hours chatting, and she said, okay, yes, Pedro Almodóvar has phoned me. And I said, no, but I'm going to say yes to you. I think you're great.
No, ya estaba muy mayor.
Well, she was quite old, and I said, I'll take you, I'll bring you, I'll help. And I took her around for a week. I lied to her like we all do in these situations. But in any case, when I thought that my life in terms of filmmaking, I want to be a filmmaker since I was 8, and this is true. I have friends from school who remember that. He said, you want to be a filmmaker.
So you had it very clear at the age of 8, when you were 8. It is not like you saw it gradually. Yes, you did open up your own path, but at the age of 8, you wanted to be a filmmaker.
I had a brother who loved movies, and one of the first films that I saw was 2001, and I didn't understand anything. And my brother said, well, what did you think about it? He was an intellectual, and I thought, what did you think about it? It's a work of art, but the monkeys doing this. So my father, my brother, they loved films. We did do the double sessions here in Madrid. There was a cycle by Fassbinder, by Godard, and I was a teenager, and I said, well, I need to do films. This is my vocation. And just to the point. I was a certain age. My passion is to tell stories, and well, Carmen y Lola came.
She goes forward really, really fast, but I feel like really relishing this moment when Arantxa said, well, I'm probably becoming too old to be a filmmaker, so I'd like to write a story. And how did you raise the money for that, the funding for that, and how did it go? Because, well, this has an amazing happy ending, but she visited the Quincena, the filmmaker Quincena in Cannes.
This is very infrequent, of course.
Yes, this is very infrequent. So you were already planning on this.
I had 100 stories in my head because I've experienced a lot. I've gone through many things, many life experiences, and this is what I want to do. I want to tell stories and to go beyond myself, because this is our belly button is just about us, and it can be hairy. No, you have to go out there and tell other people's stories. In 2010, I saw a piece of news in El País. It was the wedding of two gypsy girls, and the photo was of them, but they were turning their back to the camera. We couldn't see their faces. And if you know the Roma community, well, a wedding is the best moment in your life. You have to celebrate. And in this case, it was a celebration in silence. And I thought it was terrible. It was very sad, taking into account that was also a new law. We could be very modern sometimes, but this was a different situation. And I said, well, I'd like to see this photo, and I'd like to pull it out and to see the faces of these girls. And I just had a pitch in front of a producer, and I said a wedding between two Roma women, and I said natural actresses. I will go to El Pozo del Tío Ramundo. I will make this film, and well, many closed doors, a lot of people saying, what do you want to do? This was impossible. So I had an interview with Telecinco. It was pretty funny because I was just knocking on everybody's doors, and I was there with my equipment.
And this is your movie is from 2016, and this was in 2012. So this is not like she woke up one morning and she made this decision, and 2 days after that she was shooting.
Yes, in total 8 years.
Yes, imagine. Very often people think this is really easy. Having luck means you wake up one day, you have the script, and then you start shooting. No, being lucky is having a film in mind and then being lucky. So you've been 8 years, you were 8 years, then you knocked on Telecinco's door.
Canta.
And they said, well, we love this. Let's have the Flores do this. And I thought, no, it's not that type of film. That's what I said. We produce it tomorrow for you. No, I said, no, impossible, no. So I had to reject that offer. If I were to have been more desperate, I would have said yes, but it would have been the worst movie in the history of cinema. But I continued. I presented the project to an award from Esgai. We were awarded with the award for Screen Borders, and then I was doing the production. Then Pilar was helping there, and we managed to receive 250,000 euros from the Ministry of Culture, and that's what we did. We just said, okay, now we have to shoot. We have to go for it. We went to El Pozo, El Huevo, different places from the Roma community, and I went to social centers, and I had a sheet of paper casting, and there was a gypsy woman who came and said, what are you doing? And well, I want to do this. Do you pay? Yes. Okay. Yes. Well, I'm going to pay a salary, of course.
But I'm truly mesmerized. Movistar, not even Televisión Española. The script was very highly rated, but there was a PP government, a Popular Party government, and it was complicated because, well, it depends on the government who that is leading the public television. Things are really feeble in this profession. Maybe you are lucky in one respect, but then something fails or something that seemed possible, you go for it and you can't finally succeed.
Yes, so we said, okay, let's go for it. We did the casting, and we had women, Roma women come and said, "What's the film about? What is it?" And I don't like lying, so I said, "It's the marriage. It is a wedding between two gypsy women." Oh, well, and they left, and after 6 months, I was there sitting every day, and one day, a woman, a Roma woman, said, I know two women who are together. And I said, yes, if you want to introduce me to, no, well, you're here, I feel sad for you. Tomorrow I'll come back. And so the next day she came with 2 other friends, and within 4, and then everybody just came to see Arantxa. And suddenly I had 20 Roma women there, and one was there with her baby, with a baby boy. And I think that image, I was there, and well, I was with my son, and I went to the bathroom. I said, "Can you hold my baby?" This, and then suddenly there was a connection. And they suddenly started saying that I wasn't a bad woman. I was good, and it was, the topic was a bit strange, but I was paying, so that influenced, and everybody came to do the casting, but the problem that I encountered is that Carmen and Lola, the protagonist, all the young women, super beautiful, wonderful, Carmen and Lola, no. Well, they have to be together. They have a relationship. No, I want to do the cousin. I want to do the aunt. But nobody wanted to play the main role. And there was a complicated moment, because suddenly you have the all the Roma community, but you cannot find your protagonist. And I thought, at some point, I'm not going to be able to make the film. And one day, Thaida came the first day of the casting, and she come to see. She plays Lola, and then she came back, and I tried, and I thought, well, she's marvelous, she's wonderful. And suddenly I said, well, yeah, I have my Lola. And I looked at the videos, and I thought, okay, I have Lola. And then Carolina Yoste, that's the best anecdote in my life. I was in El Barbieri, in a coffee shop, and I was there with the producer. We were talking about figures, and then a guy comes up and says, a young boy says, "Are you talking about a film? What are you doing?" "Yes, well, I'm a filmmaker, and we're doing a film about this." To Roma women. "I have a friend, she's amazing," and he shows me a picture of Carol, and I say, wow, she's Roma. Yes, she's Roma. She's incredible. It's difficult to make a film with with people that haven't had a training. I phoned her. "Do you want to come tomorrow? We're doing this." Well, she came, and then she started doing an improvisation with 2 other Roma women. "Yes, where are you from?" "I'm from Badajoz." And then they started talking, and I said, "Well, this woman is amazing, absolutely amazing. I want her. I've got it. I've got the most difficult part. Amazing." And I said, "Look, Carolina, I would love you to be in the film." And she said, "I'm not Roma." And I said, no, I'm not Roma, but I'm an actress. And I said, God, yes, I believe.
Pues imagínate, pero hablando con la gitana, claro.
Talking with Roma women. I don't know if you've read her book. She comes from Badajoz, a very special place. If you have a Roma cousin, it's okay. We're not here in Madrid. We're a bit more special about this. That over there, it's normal. So, well, Carolina said, okay, well, you're not Roma, but you're amazing. So let's do this. And we continued with the casting, and after a year, and I said, well, I don't have Carmen. I'm going to try to look for an actress. My heart was broken, and we had to start shooting a month later. And suddenly my Carmen appeared, and she said, yes, okay, if I have to kiss the other girl, I will kiss her. Because I said, would you smoke on screen? No, because my father will kill me. Okay, first question. That was my way of progressing little by little. It was complicated.
Dijo, yo me besaría con él.
Yes, I can kiss her. If you want me, I can kiss her. And her name was Rossi, and let's do a test. And she was very nervous, but she was eager. She was passionate about this. So I have to say that I have exceptional luck. And the two of them have wonderful chemistry. Moreno Borja, the actor who plays the father, worked in the security staff of Works in the street, and he could never come to the casting, and he always said, I want to do the film. And suddenly one day he came, and I said, it's him. And he's played the father of Hernan Cortés, and a Roma man playing this role. It's amazing.
Well, look, I did a short movie with a Roma playing an Apache. Yeah, because it's a physical resemblance with long hair. So he did look like an Apache Indian.
But Mariano called me and said, well, I'm going to be the father of a Spanish noble with incredible actors, but it's not easy to find a role in my situation. And well, we were shooting Carmen, and we didn't have money for the sandwiches, and we had to look for, okay, let me call my mother to see if we can get some money for this. Suffering, but at the same time a beautiful experience. Everybody was there, everybody wanted to do it, and a lot of truth. We didn't have money, but we had truth, and sometimes it's difficult to find truth.
And sometimes I think obstacles, as Guillermo del Toro says, obstacles make having to overcome the obstacles makes you find more creative solutions. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but sometimes it does. I think one of the reasons for the success of Carmen and Lola in Spain and outside of Spain is a truth that is like seeping out of the movie. There's nothing that is superficial. You believe everything. I've just learned that Carolina Juste is not a Roma herself. It's well, and how did you end up having the financing? At some point, you must have had Movistar Plus and all that.
No, nobody supported us, and I have a picture, Carmen y Lola, and I just made a picture in a Festival de Cannes, and everybody, I sent it to my friends, and I took the picture before I sent it, and that's it, and I sent it, and that's it, and suddenly...
Porque como me tiene tan fascinada esa parte que yo no conocía, y tú tienes el sonido hecho, has terminado el color. ¿Esta película terminada?
Toda terminada. Y entonces yo la mandé.
Everything was finished, yes. I sent it to Berlin, and I was called by the producer, yes, okay, well, the film, I sent it a work in progress. It was 2 hours and a half, 3 hours. It looks good, again, but we can't see it yet. And I said, yeah, just continue, because it looks good. And I said, okay, great, great. But the best thing, well, we've more or less finished it, and then I sent it to Cannes without any expectations, and suddenly I receive a phone call. I pick up the phone, and good morning, I'm the artistic director of the and I thought, what a stupid guy. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a prank, and I insulted the art director of the Quinzaine. And yes,
you don't make things easy for you.
You send out a DVD with a handwritten note to the best festival in the world. What could you expect? And I was looking for distribution, and then he phoned again. Excuse me, I think there was a mistake. And I thought, when I saw plus 33, I thought, no, I don't have any friends in France right now. And it was the dream that anyone can have. Your first film with the effort, the amount of work, how much it meant to us. Non-professional actors, actresses. We didn't know if they were going to show on set. We didn't have contracts. We had they didn't want to sign anything, and there was also a situation. The person who played the mother of Carmen's boyfriend, there was an important plot in the film, and after a week shooting, she phones me and she says, Arantxa, well, I can't go anymore. And I said, why? Well, my husband is angry with another guy, and we're being kicked out, and we have to go to Sevilla, and you can't come. No, but if you want my mother to do it. And I said, well, your mother is 75 years old and you're 40. And she said, well, my mother can, yeah, because she hasn't been kicked out by the patriarchy. And so we had to call the production, wait, I have to rewrite this. I have to rewrite the script, the character. And this is what we were doing all the time, all these changes. But I think it was the best experience in my life. And what happens is for a reason. This is what Guillermo del Toro says. When these things happen, we have to embrace them. We cannot say, well, I don't have this woman anymore. Well, maybe the role was not so interesting because I removed this plot. I can focus more on the two protagonists because things happen for a reason. And just to dwell on the pain and, well, was not possible, I'm not doing what I wanted to do, it's just not constructive. It's not practical. And in this profession, you need to be constructive. You have to move forward. If not, you're just going to hit the wall all the time.
These are very wise words. I hope you take note of those words. I see university people here. The idea is that, you need to make the most of everything, even the difficulties, because just regretting will not take you to Cannes. Really, almost nothing will help you get to Cannes. Well, it's amazing. You found a distributing system for your movie. I know Movistar Plus bought it, and Televisión Española as well. I thought they had come into play before.
No, nobody that was that. It has been sold in 75 countries, and I was in flight by Air China watching Carmen and Lola. I couldn't believe it. It was crazy. The film had huge success. It was one of the few films that talks about a homosexual relationship with a happy ending, and normally there's drama and there's sadness, but in this case there's a happy ending. They flee and they escape together, and they're happy together. You have made me feel really mesmerized. I think we should perhaps take this story to all cinema schools. Leave it for Guillermo del Toro. No, both of them are amazing, and there are experiences that are interesting in both cases. It's not like either one is more important. And then from there, you made Chinas. Yes, because, well, I've had many experiences. I'm old, and to have experiences and to be very curious. I'm very, very curious. And afterwards, I will ask you, why did you stop working in production? I want to know about other people. It is super important to get to know other people because we know ourselves. That's boring. And then, well, I was doing short films, and and just under my house there was a store with food. It was run by a Chinese family, and there's where Lucia was there. I imagine myself as Carolina Ayuste, and when they saw that, I said, well, okay. And I was there every day. I was going to the store, and I bought many things. I went every day, and she was always there. She was doing the homework. I tried to help her, and then I took her to the park, and we became friends. And sometimes I said, I haven't. She said to me, I haven't seen you for 4 days, and I had to say hello. And she always said to me that I didn't eat well healthily, but when I had vegetables she was good. And one day there was a letter from Hermanos de Lucia, and she saw this letter and she showed it to me. And let's imagine we have the 3 wise men, Los Reyes Magos in Spain. What's this? Explain this to me. What is this? And I was trying to explain this to this Chinese woman. I said, and this girl, and I said, well, everybody's going to have a present, and Lucia wants this doll, and she had good grades. She didn't think it was good enough, 7, 8, and she said no. She didn't deserve it, and they just celebrate the Chinese New Year, and that didn't make sense. And suddenly Lucia said, well, you have to send out the letter. This is what they told her at school. And I said, well, how can I do this? This is a big responsibility. How am I going to do? Then one day I saw Corte Inglés, and I went there, the most expensive shop, to buy this Monster High. It was just something stupid that I decided to do.
No, I thought 3 wise men, El Corte Inglés, yeah, Cortiland, yes, this publicity.
So I bought the Monster High, and I didn't want to give it to her directly, to the mother, because we didn't have much communication. She hardly spoke any Spanish. I didn't speak any Chinese. So this is in the film, and I went there. And I, slid it underneath. The store was closed, and I just slid it underneath. So then, and I did this. I said, okay. I went back home to bed, and then at 3 a.m, I suddenly realized I'm interfering in another culture, in the education of another family. I'm being here a supremacist. What am I doing? I'm being stupid, and in pajamas I just went down to the store, and I tried to recover the gift, and I hurt myself. That the doll that was there.
It would have been an amazing false making of.
I didn't manage to get it back. A drunk guy appeared. Well, in any case, I was really ashamed. I'm so ashamed, and I was so ashamed that I didn't go back, and this was stupid. I didn't want to go to the store. I didn't want to go in front of the store because I was ashamed of what I had done, and I didn't really know how to say sorry to the mother. I didn't really know how to handle the situation. And I changed houses, changes in life, etc. And suddenly, one day, I was sharing this anecdote with a friend, and the friend said, "That's a film." And I said, "Well, yes." And I said, "Well, I went back to the store. I wanted to see Lucia and explain." This was when I was doing short films, and I'd already done Carmen y Lola.
So this was before Carmen and Lola?
I was doing short films. Yes, it was before Carmen y Lola, and there were quite a few short films before that, and the store wasn't there anymore. And I started writing. I started talking to people from the Chinese community, the diaspora, second generation, super complicated, super difficult, because they live between 2 cultures, the Spanish culture that is expansive and open, and Chinese culture that is much more at home, really. And Sergi in the film says, she didn't have any freedom because, didn't know what happened outside. And a lot of people went to the store and said, well, this is bad quality because it's Chinese. Why are they saying this to me? Why don't they make the same comments in the supermarket? And the parents saw this and experienced this, and I started searching and thinking. And I have a friend who has an adopted daughter from China, and I continued seeking and searching, and I just wrote down the script of China's, and that's what I did. And then I said, I have to give this to people from the Chinese community because this is what I have to do, as I had done before. And I talked to Li Muani, who is a visual artist who has project. Any show is amazing. And Yue, a social assistant in Usera, a psychologist, and I gave them the script, and I said, just let me know if you want to collaborate, but they liked it. This is what is happening in the second generation. Yue, who is one of the participants in this is my story. We're migrants. We normally come because of a cousin who knows. This is why they're all located in specific areas in Madrid, and my cousin was doing well, and so other family members come, and it's the same background, and of course, but not all Chinese people are the same, and this is what the film is also sharing. It was an amazing experience. We had people from China in the production and the casting. We also had the involvement of the community of Usera. I had to do a casting for 1 year, and I went down the street, and the people from the Chinese stores used to call me, no, I can't do this, I can't. No, I'm seeking for those characters. Yehu, who plays the mother. If you've seen the film, there's a discussion with the daughter, and they used to come here, and they have a son, and they send him to China so he learns Chinese and is educated by grandparents, and then when they start school here, they come back. And let's imagine nowadays, internet, Zoom, you can talk to your children who are in China. But 6 years ago, no, and there was no option of internet from China, etc. And you're here, you don't talk the language, you have a different physical appearance, and suddenly say to you, these are your parents. And this was a problem that existed among young people in the castings. And Yahoo, her son, did this, and they still have emotional conflicts, difficult situations. And during the dinner scene, she was talking about herself, and Dalina, who plays Lucia, is also in the store, and Siyi, a teenager, also had the same problems, and she left her home because she wanted freedom, and she was tired of being the interpreters for her parents, or going to the bank, etc. And it is difficult. But the good thing about this film, the Chinese community, this is what I saw, but any migrant can feel identified, can relate. We've talked to young people from Maghreb saying, it's the same. I'm second generation. I have to help my parents, but also you're different in your appearance. And they say, well, where are you? Oh, I'm from Usera. But where are you from? Usera. They don't understand why so many questions.
Arantxa, I realized that your two first movies, which are very personal, very author-based films, in the middle you did other movies, and then jump to the infiltrated agent, la infiltrada, because you're from a Basque country, you know the conflict, perhaps not firsthand, but you do know the conflict. I have the feeling that you felt really boosted by the reality, but those characters that are very related to the reality.
Yes, I'm motivated by women. The engine of the story in Chinas, we have daughters, grandmothers, mothers, and in La Infiltrada it is a woman who's fighting with no weapons, with her intellect against the terrorist group ETA. And the next one, yes, and I'm a woman. And why are they telling me how I should be feeling? All men tell me how I am and how I have sex and how I have to be, and sex, menopause, my period. This I feel this, and they've been telling me during my whole life how I should feel in books, in films. But thank God we now have more female authors, directors, and Carmen y Lola was a success, and if would have been a failure, well, I have a sort of background, backpack, so to speak, that helps me make these blockbuster movies, like La Infiltrada. We can do these things, as it can be also a smaller film with a smaller budgets, because we are directors, and that's it. And this is what I need to have. I need to have a character that is close to me. I am eager to get angry, to scream, to just express what I've been carrying for so many years. Well, come on. These comments, or to be afraid in the metro or in the taxi, I'm fed up with all of this, and I have a power. Now I have a power, and it would be unfair not to use it. So when I see a woman character or a young woman who wants to do this, and I'm here and I can help you, I can help you because they helped me, and I'm going to help as many people as possible, as many women as possible, and hopefully we won't have this festival anymore because it is by women. We need to have our own space. We have to be visible, and well, I'm sorry for Carlota, but film by women. There are few of us, but it is obvious, right? And Laura with Domingos, Paula Ortiz. I can say many names, Palomero, Carla Simón, much more interesting, new voices, different voices, because we haven't been able to speak. They haven't allowed us.
Vale, muy bien.
Great. Well, our ultimate goal would be that in a certain amount of period of time, 10 years or whatever, there shouldn't be any need to give value to the work of women filmmakers or screenwriters, because we like to give value to all the production chain, creation, technical, having women photography directors. In fact, we give lots of awards to technicians who are women. We have had sound directors, we have had filmmakers. Teresa Fong won the award. Creators, screenwriters, all of them, but also within the production chain. We believe it is also important to give relevance to all those women who had a harder work than men. And our final objective, our ultimate objective, would be, well, in a certain period of time, let's hope it's 10 rather than 20. We hope we won't have any need to have this discussion. From the point of view of a festival made by women, we would like to be talking about Carmen y Lola, whatever is of interest to you, but we would like to not have any need to frame it in any specific women festival. This would mean that it's no longer an anomaly but a part of a reality. What you explained links up to my next question. It is very clear now that you are inspired and motivated by a women character. Absolutely. Well, it's very clear. They inspire me. Yes, it's very clear. But what are the type of stories that motivate you? Well, I know that you never know what's going to be motivating. But what do you think, looking back and looking to the future, what do you think are the stories that you're most interested in telling?
De las mujeres, obviamente.
Well, apart from women, I like the sides of society, margins. I've had to live with very little money. Now I have money. Don't ask me for money, but I do now. But don't worry.
Don't worry. You may be broke tomorrow in this profession. Don't worry.
Luego, hay una cuestión de empatía.
And there's also empathy, things that are interesting to me, and I think, okay, if this is interesting to me, it will be interesting to other people. I would love to go to a house in Usera and to see how a Chinese family has dinner. If I'm curious about this, why wouldn't other people be curious? What's it like to be different, to live in a Roma community? Now I am preparing a film on Jehovah's Witnesses, and I think it is really curious. And I've also read a book by Soraya Narez. Well, what a life to be a Jehovah's Witness. What a life. And I want to do that film. So anything that draws my attention, well, I always think that other people are going to be interested by that, and it allows me to submerge into a different world, to get to know firsthand a life and some people that I wouldn't be able to access on the other situation. And also, Ameria Mora and myself wrote the script, and we had to imagine what this woman was feeling, because we didn't right now she's in an unknown place, but we had to imagine. But this has to do also with the world of actors, the magic of transforming your life for a few months and change everything. And on the 25th, I'm going to a Chinese wedding, and I'm really excited about this. And in the Roma community, I have a godfather, and for me it is enriching, and I think if it's enriching for me, it's going to be enriching for anyone, to open and expand the knowledge of people who are around.
Indeed, because, looking at your more personal movies, I have this feeling that you are interested in looking into worlds that are not so globalized, and we don't know them so well either, because, of course, maybe we've known the Roma world a little bit more, we've seen more movies, but getting into the Chinese community, or looking into what being an infiltrated agent is really difficult. It's very hard for us to imagine what it's like.
For La Infiltrada, well, I talked to all the police agents who participated in that operation, including the main one. It was fascinating hearing about those days in the Basque Country, how they had to wash their clothes and they could never have their official uniform outside, and they had to open the mailbox with the left hand, because if there's a bomb, you would lose your left hand or the cars. And lying to your children, the character who is pregnant in the film, everything is true. I'm going to do a spoiler here if you haven't seen it. Well, I think everybody in this country has watched this film. But the name of the duck was also the same. The phone call to the commissioner, the rubbish in the lift, all of this was true, right? And the pregnant woman, commissioner, who was... she had her 2 children who thought she was a lawyer until they were 18. How can you tell your own son for 18 years that you're a lawyer when you're not? And this is, because you're in the Basque country, and if the child speaks at school, many things can happen. And her daughter, Teresa, came to see the film, and, I want to see what my mother did, because I've never known what my mother's done. I said, okay, she's this role, this character, and she was amazed. And she said, you did this? Well, yes, it was our every day. This is what we did. And to see all of this, the victims for the assassination of Gregorio Ordóñez, we called the widow and the sister to ask for permission. You cannot talk about a victim without permission. And they said yes. And we shot the film. It is quite graphic, that assassination. It has been reproduced according to the police documents, and the red jacket, the gun, and everything, the blood on another person's face, and all of what happens in the film. And he just left the site on foot. How can you just do this, assassinate someone with total impunity? And when we shot that scene, we said, okay, we have to show this to the family, because if they think that the film is promoting violence, well, they have to decide. And if they don't want that scene, we will remove it. If we have to take away the graphic part, we will do this. And we finished the screening, and I was really nervous. I was afraid. I was worried about their reaction. And on the contrary, they said, well, it's good. People should not forget. It is really graphic. Well, that's what happened. And so it's important. People should not forget. And to be there with sister, with the widow, to hold their hand, that was... You do have the moral obligation to tell things properly, to be, to really respond to the truth.
You have left us a little bit paralyzed, but yes, talking about real things, real communities, has this side about it. It's like, well, your Carmen and Lola story has a happy ending, but there are hard moments, because this is really the society. Sometimes happiness, sometimes sadness.
Bye.
Yes, I've cried a lot, but I've cried well.
Well, I'm happy that your tears were useful for something. We have you here. We're now moving on to the Q&A session. I'm sure you will have thousands of things you would like to ask Arantxa, so this is not your opportunity. As you can see, Arantxa doesn't keep quiet about anything. This is why you are here with us.
Eso, Arantxa.
Eso.
Bueno, yo me estoy emocionando. Yo soy de Inchaurrondo.
Las preguntas.
Okay, Aupa Kaixo Arantxa. This is allusion in Basque. I really feel moved at hearing you. Yes, when I watched the movie, I remember La Cepa restaurant. And the owners of the restaurant, told me once that they people needed to run sometimes, run away. When I watched the movie, I found it so real. I felt it so real. It is so realistic, so well made. This is what I felt. This is my experience had been the same.
I have an anecdote. We were in one of the streets of Bilbao with all the taverns from the terrorist group, and we couldn't go there, but we were just on the parallel street, and we had two women who just walk into the street and say, "Oh God, they're back!" And we said, "No, we're just shooting a film." And they were. It was a flashback to them. They were surprised.
Okay, back there.
It's very impacting. Yeah, so it wasn't finished. Well, I loved the movie, Carolina. Everyone was amazing. I really experienced it as something personal, something touching. And congratulations on Chinas, on all your movies. Well, I had a short interview with you, Marga. I was trembling. I was saying, Arantxa, trembling. Did I behave well? Yes, absolutely wonderful. Chapeau. I take off my hat, as they say in Spanish. Lucille did a mention afterwards, and she said it had been really, really good. So I felt really moved, and I believe you're really a big filmmaker. I've seen the 3 movies, Carmen y Lola, Chinas, and La Infiltrada. I love the 3 of them, but I would like to congratulate you, especially on La Infiltrada, because from my point of view, as a viewer, it is the first woman filmmaker who makes an adventure movie and is successful. It's the first time. So I had the same debate with in Cinco Lobitos in Alcalá de Henares Festival. I said, well, it is harder for women to find money, so we seem to be sentenced to making low budget or small budget movies, like a very intimistic types of stories. And I was wondering, when are women filmmakers going to do more like action-based movies? I was always wondering how men could get so much money to make these types of movies, and then these other more intimistic types of movies are left for women filmmakers.
Yes, I agree with you, but when we have money, for instance, we have Paula Ortiz with her film La Virgen Roja.
Yeah, La Virgen Roja is a beautiful movie, a beautiful story. And yes, truly, you cannot just be successful with a low budget. You have to do, lower level things with low budgets. We are not still in a world where we can have the same type of budget.
No quiero.
I always have the same request. I don't want more. I want the same. And well, with La Infiltrada, they gave me the opportunity because I'm from the Basque Country. I could also do films by commission, and and also from independent cinema. And they trusted it. And Echevarría is the bad guy, and the good girl, the protagonist is Arantxa. So a good combination. They trusted me with an important budget. It is an expensive film, and the script is a thriller. It has been assembled by a woman too. We are women screenwriters, filmmaker, And some people say, well, infiltrada, that guy is amazing. Well, I think that directing a film has no sex, no age, no gender. It's about telling stories, and this is what we need. We need more trust, we need more budget, and I like La Infiltrada because I think it has paved the way. A woman can do a film with an important budget, with money, and this is what the production company cares about. That there's a return. There might be smaller movies with we're just proving that we can tell any kind of story with any kind of budget, but of course if we have the support that would be better because we don't suffer as much.
Okay. When we are already a little bit satisfied with how things go, we hope things will not stop going well. Hello, Arantxa. There's something I'd like to say. I have doubts about something. I saw the premiere of La Infiltrada at the Cinema Academy with Carolina and Diego Anido, and you said that there was a frame where when she picked him up and they were driving in the car, she told him that she didn't want him to carry the gun in the car, so they stopped the car. They both went out, they leant on the car, and Diego's scream was apparently not a planned thing, and it was not on the script, and you were all surprised.
It was better than that because Diego is an actor who is very impulsive, very creative. He works really like this. And when we started with the sequence, it was written differently, and he started acting in a different way. Give me the keys, get out of the car.
But then I've seen the movie again on television, and I was more attentive to the scream, and I didn't hear the scream in the television version.
There's no scream. No, I don't think so. All this scene was edited by them during the essay part. They were there. Well, if you don't give me the gun, I won't take you. And they started creating this moment of tension. Diego was there, and Carolina, they were playing, so to speak, and suddenly we said, okay, we want everything, we'll keep it. But I really like improvisation. I worked with natural actors, and the sequence where Diego walks into the room of Carolina with her gun, we didn't say anything to Carolina, we just said, Diego's gonna walk in, just remember that you're just a normal girl and you're not a police agent, and they even had an agreement that it might be sexual, but she had those indications. You can't do anything, but he starts playing around with the gun on her body. She grabs him and she says, no, okay, stop, okay. And also the scene with the members of the terrorist group, yes?
Well, I had a picture taken with Diego, and I said to him, you look really scary in the movie. Taiso and Arantxa, hello. Thanks, first of all, because I felt really identified with La Infiltrada. I'm from Argentina, but my great-grandfather was from Navarra. So I've been years now in Spain, and when I saw the film, my mind was blown up. It was amazing. I'd like to know if you would be interested in speaking also about the image of a disabled woman, because it is one other big topic today. And this year she did Berlin. About a deaf woman. And there is a possibility of touching lots of topics. We are a little bit saturated with certain genres. We abuse these genres, these types of movies, because the funders or the funding entities want these types of movies. But this movie is in this festival. If you have the opportunity, see it.
Yes, I think it would be very interested. And there's a discrimination clearly, and she also, yes, very, very interested. I haven't explored it. Well, whenever you want, you have a story here.
Well, we feel really curious now about what you said. You need to talk to Arantxa later. In this respect, I truly trust that every year there's always themes, there's always movies about something that you don't expect, like a homosexual relationship in the Roma community, motherhood in the case of a deaf woman, obstacles being overcome. It seems that we're always telling the same things, but every year you come up with amazing movies that surprise you with really true topics, very real topics, and very touching, and I'm very, very optimistic in this respect. Hello, Arantxa. First of all, thanks very much, because you are a benchmark for all women who would like to start working in this field. I see lots of young people around here. Yeah. Yes, hello. Yeah, thanks. You're here to hear an older woman like me. And I'd like to ask you for advice for all the persons who are here working in a million places. You would like to be an actress, wouldn't you? Arantxa, how can you? But you would pass a casting in 1 minute. Can I point out who I think would like to be an actress or an actor, actress? Yes. Yeah, at the end of the day, that's the worst thing of all. To want to be an actor or an actress is Clara here. Being exposed. I'm saying it is difficult to be a filmmaker, but being an actor is even more difficult.
I admire you from the bottom of my heart. Because exposure, casting, no. I wanted a younger girl, a blonde girl. You're never fitting into any profile. You adore the profession because it is a vocation. If not, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. And, well, I have to be discovered by somebody. You cannot demonstrate it. I have a script. I can present it. What are you going to do? You have to be discovered. I would recommend theatre as much as possible, in the streets, anywhere. Carol, just got there because she had a friend who was cheeky. Just don't miss any opportunities. Go there. Use everything, any possibility. You have to be judged. It's difficult, but a lot of theatre.
And if Arantxa allows me, I'd tell you, to take a look at the universities, to the schools where people are beginning to do short movies. Put up your photograph so that they know that you're there. I want to be part of this short movie. It doesn't matter how long I have to wait.
Be careful with short films. Idiots who might say something that you're not supposed to do. I've been in short films and I've said, no, I'm not going to do this. Well, you're going to do your crazy project, so just be careful, look out.
Yeah, and there are theatre plays that want actors to act as stones for hours, and the actor or the actress is playing the stone for hours.
If you want to do your own project in theatre, I agree with you. I don't know if in the CAM or there are many schools.
There are many schools of all kinds, like the CAM, the cinema school. There are cinema departments in the Camino José Cela University. There is a diploma in cinema. There are other schools. Of course, you need to make choices, but introducing yourself, going there, to show who you are, because you don't know if you will match certain roles, and that will give you some degree of self-confidence as well.
I'm mentioning theatre because I think that casting directors go to the theatre. The good ones are viewing all sorts of projects in theatre, from the smallest to the biggest. They're seeking, maybe you're playing a stone, but maybe you are liked. Well, maybe it's, I don't know, whatever circumstance, but I would say if you want to be an actor and actress, it is a very long road. It is very, very long, very, very complicated, and you're put to the test every day, and you receive many no's, and you say, well, I've never been directed, I haven't been in this casting, I don't know what they wanted, and perseverance to knock on many doors. And if you want to direct, if anybody here wants to direct, yes, Martina, you can also raise your hand. Yes. Okay. Good. Great. Many women. Yes, that's true.
Los que la tienen un poquito duros son los guionistas.
Well, there is also a hard life for screenwriters.
Una vergüenza.
Yes, no, don't be ashamed, don't be afraid. And at the beginning I was thinking, is this a good story? Is it valid? Anything that is yours, that is close to your heart, that is your own. Carmen y Lola, that's my first love. Shared with two Roma women. Seek for things that will be interesting to you and for others, but because they're unique. And try to get involved with anyone. Anyone who is around you can get involved, can participate. Just with a mobile phone, you can just do like this, and you can participate and just do it. It would have been amazing for me to be able to record anything with a mobile phone, accessing this and just having a few friends. And we have actresses and we have actors, we have people who want to make movies. Don't leave without networking.
Yeah, screenwriters, filmmakers. Yeah, it seems like it's just publicity, but we also take care of Rampa, which is a network only for women, but surely there must be others with all types of persons. Everyone, like where you can say, well, I want an actress, I want a photography director, and you go in Rampa and you can find contacts of people who are there waiting, and our work is very community based. We need people, and that requires people that are present everywhere, having people who can help you, because sometimes the people that you do the short film with accompanies you along your career.
I have people with whom I did the short films, and they're still with me, and Carolina, the same thing, and you cannot make a movie without her. It's difficult. We've grown together, we've evolved together. Just anyone, your neighbor or the person that's next to you, you have a screenwriter and you've got a good story here. So don't be stupid, don't waste your time, no, don't be shy, just we only have one life, and so be cheeky, just go for it, and just repent from what you have done, not what you haven't done. And with the short films, I did one and then the next one, and then I met Pilar, she was my producer, and then in a bar I met Carol. If you move, you can make it work, and don't be afraid. You might do something that is not good, that is horrible. You're very very self-demanding, but it is your own project. He's a great actor. Yes, he is. So I want you to stay and to talk among you, and I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. It's not a joke, and this is, I am who I am thanks to this journey. She's a producer over there. She's a producer. Okay, so yes, I don't really know what else I can say.
Que no cejéis el empeño.
So just keep going. It was very difficult for me. Don't make your first film at 50. That was really stupid. Different times, no money. You just have to go for it. Just jump into it. And I think we're also going to have to jump from Fundación Telefónica, right? A couple more questions.
Okay, sí.
Yeah, we have time for maybe two more questions. Yes, it's rubbish. True, yes. In our profession, and more so for actors, but also for filmmakers, for producers, they will say no to us more than yes. So we need to be able to handle frustration. We need to be able to not take it personally in the castings, as a producer, as a filmmaker, whatever. I always try to treat all actors and actresses really well, because no one is allowed to treat anyone badly on my behalf. Your hair doesn't look good. No, you cannot say those things. You need to be respectful. You have to say, I'm sorry, but your hairdo does not match what I want. What if I have my haircut? Well, but I would rather have a blonde actress and you have black hair, whatever. But you must not be frustrated. That's a fact of life, and it's hard sometimes.
Castings are tough. Age of the actor. We cannot hear, sorry, the question without the microphone. Yes, okay, 50. Wow, yes. We have roles for women like us, and I'm a 50-year-old. Yes, that's it. So, I've just made a film with Susi Sanchez and with Hugo Silva, and it's amazing. Really fun, great. This is what I mean. Suddenly the script that I received through a different channel was a 50-year-old man. Can I change it to a woman? Yes, that's okay. You can change it. Okay. Well, that's it. I'll change it.
Yeah, that's great. Surely.
Bueno, hola.
Hello. Thanks very much, Arantxa. I'm Isabel. Well, talking about your pitch from the beginning, you talked about the flow, the passion that one must feel for what they want. And going back to the question, what have I done to be a filmmaker? My belief is, and I'd like you to answer this question, are you interested right now in talking about the light, the memory? Do you think your filmmaking coexists with our present society?
Help. Yes, I think so. Because I'm lucky enough, my feet are still on the ground. I sit on the benches and I talk to women who are bored. Or I go to the supermarket. I know the lives of all the women in the supermarket of my neighborhood. I'm still here. The day that I get distanced from this, I think my films will be worse, because this is where I tell my stories, my films, from my guts, from my heart, with my feet on the ground. If I have a different gaze and I judge things, that would be terrible. So I think, yes, I will continue making movies with that light, or from the point of view of light. I liked that comment. Thank you.
Bueno, si alguno es muy breve o alguna.
Well, we may have time for a very last question. Because the workers in this building, they need to go back home, and people need to go back home to start writing scripts, etc. She's a filmmaker as well. Thanks very much, Arantxa. I've followed you since your beginnings. Well, I'd like to focus on the short movies aspect. I think it's a very complex form of screenwriting. I'm talking about screenwriting. You need to tell something personal, surprising the audience, but in only 10-15 minutes. I don't know if you could give us perhaps any tips or some ideas.
Yo me siento cortometrajista.
Well, I think I'm more comfortable as a director of short films. It is much more difficult than a feature film. This is like writing short stories, such as Cortázar. He was excellent at this, but writing a novel is different. And to do a good short film is very complicated. There's one that I really enjoyed, Te Quiero. I don't know if you've seen it. And it's a couple, and they're just sitting, and the boy says Te Quiero, and you hear the echo saying Te Quiero, I love you. And so it talks about the communication, about a couple. And maybe you want to demonstrate too much in your short films that you're a great director, that you do this with a camera, etc. Maybe we want to share too much, and over the years I have learned that it is better to keep it simple, stupid, right? So the simpler, with less actors, with less complications. My first short film included 15 locations, and the second one, Pilar said 2 and a house. 2 locations and a house, and it was nominated to the Goya Awards. 2 persons in a house. Okay, okay. Fear in women. Guys don't understand that. If they knock on the door and it's the neighbor, he's upstairs and he realized that there's somebody inside and he wants to come in my house to make a phone call, and I don't know him. I'm new, and can you let me come in? And what do you do? Well, opens the door, and many things can happen. A million things can happen. This is what you have to think about. A pitch line, does it work? It is the love between 2 Roma girls. Something small, but something that touches you, that moves you. And as a woman, this is the power that we have. We can share many stories that haven't been shared. For instance, how do you have an orgasm? Because how you do it, or how do you feel abandoned, or something small, something simple that can work on a small scale with few actors, but felt and really thought with guts and with a good heart. This is a great advice.
Amazing advice. I will use it as well. Myself, I want to thank Arantxa. We've been really lucky to hear from her experience, her artistic vein, her generosity. This is all type of work that we need to show to the new generations. We need to show to them what we have learned, and let them make their own mistakes, but let's help them avoid our mistakes. Thanks very much, Arantxa. It's been a pleasure. Thank you all.
¡Hala!
Por favor, lo que siempre decimos, id al cine a ver películas, que eso es una maravilla y es un regalo que os hacéis a vosotros.
And thank you all for having attended, for having come. Thank you.